Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier, Mike's Instant Movie Review. Saw Kinds of Kindness. I'm not sure who I would recommend this to. I mean, if you don't like structure in films, if you like offbeat things for the sake of being offbeat, okay. I'll give you full discretion. You know, I saw a couple of tweets, a couple of this, a couple of that. People were saying, what did I just see? I think my buddies up there in New England, Nathan Schuer and Lenny Schwartz, went to see this film together and were shocked and amazed and didn't know what the fuck they just saw. So I was kind of intrigued, and then I saw that this movie had Emma Stone in it, and I guess I will admit to being a mark for Emma Stone, meaning I'm a fan. I do like her work, although I wasn't such a big fan of Poor Things. You know, I knew that she would probably get the Oscar for that because it was such a challenging and daring and brave role. But I just thought Poor Things was kind of excessive, and I called it the goth showgirls if you watch my review of Poor Things. Nothing against good old Emma. I did like her in La La Land, and actually one of the best things, if you haven't seen it, is this skit she did maybe 4 or 5 years ago on good old Saturday Night Live called The Actress. I guess Emma Stone is one of these frequent guest hosts, okay? The Five Timers Club, all this stuff. But Emma Stone in The Actress SNL skit, it's called The Actress, very funny little skit. God, that's my neck. So here's my deal, okay? I will say this, my hot controversial take. I feel like Emma Stone is on this crusade to prove that she can take any hunk of shit script and make it watchable with her wonderful talents and her lovability and she's hot, but she's not too hot. She's pretty, but she's not too pretty. She's a great actress, but she's not, Laurence Olivier's granddaughter. It's like she's on this, I will not be a typical leading female. I will not be Julia Roberts in 1995. I will not be Sandra Bullock in 1998. I will not be Reese Witherspoon in 2002. I will not be whoever the fuck. I will not do romantic comedies. I will do these edgy fucking movies that nobody understands, and they will have to give me awards for them, because I will break the spirit of the movie-going public and the critics by bringing my wonderful acting to these horse shit of scripts. Now, I think she got away with it with Poor Things. There was enough smoke and mirrors and weird shit going on in Poor fucking Things to win her a wonderful Oscar and all the acclaim that goes with it. And La La Land was relatively safe. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie, but it wasn't breaking boundaries. This, I guess you could say it's breaking boundaries. Now, here's another thing, folks. This, what the hell is this movie about? This, whatever the fuck it is, Kinds of Kindness. I mean, I saw other people Twitter fuckering that the guy who wrote this thing, directed this thing, I guess he's in it as well. What's his, Yoakum or Yoko or whatever the fuck. I guess he's supposed to be like, oh, he's this non-traditional filmmaker, holy horse shit. Oh my God, he's going to save cinema from itself. He's going to save cinema from structure and beginning, middle, end, and making sense. Whatever the fuck. I guess he probably made some goddamn great movies that I'm not aware of. Did he make Poor Things? I don't fucking know. But whoever he is, I guess he's the God, Lord and Savior of fucking non-traditional movie making this week. And we should all bow at the altar of this asshole, but I won't. So let's get into it. What's this movie about? Well, from what I gathered, there's this odd cult type of thing where Willem, once again, the most pretentious names, William, sorry. It's not William, it's Willem. Willem, okay, asshole. Willem Dafoe, yes, I like him. He's a good actor, all that horse shit. What's the one that he did? That one. It was a firefight. That movie from 20 years ago. They tried to make a fucking sequel to it like 7 or 8 years ago, and it stunk. God, it was on the tip of my tongue. The brothers or the whatever the fucks. But this movie, The Fighting Brothers, or The Irish, whatever, Fox, but Willem Dafoe is great in that. He's great in a lot of things, I know. It's just, I just don't like his name, Willem. Okay, Willem. So we got Willem walking around in a fucking G-string at 70 years old, or whatever the fuck he is, kissing up on young Emma, 31-year-old Stone, whatever she is. So it's like this weird cult where they're into like weird shit and there's like animals involved. Like, yeah, and I get it. We're all hypocrites. I had a nice meal today consisting of some type of variation on the theme of a dead cow. I'm sure you did as well. However, if you see like dog abuse, then it's a different story for us Americanos. Like the dog and the cat are on sacred ground and all the other animals can go fuck themselves, more or less. Like, okay, a nice parrot, but I'll just eat this chicken sandwich while I talk to my talking parrot. But if you had a talking chicken, you might not want to eat it, right? So we're all hypocrites, I get that. But when we, spoilers, we start seeing dogs get their little, fucking paws cut and so forth, it's disturbing. So this weird cult that I guess Willem Dafoe and his female Aki or whatever, his wife of sorts, they run this weird cult where there's like, narcolepsy and saunas and whatever, what term do they use? Contamination. And it seems like our girl here, Emma Stone plays Emily. So Emily has basically survived some type of other sicko marriage. Like she's been married to this creepy guy who, like later on, he basically drugs her and more or less, rapes her, takes advantage of his ex-wife or separated wife sexually because he fucking roofies her. And, so they've got some weird thing going on. So she's escaping like this horrible marriage to go to this cult where she's like trying to find some other people, and like the prophecy or whatever the fuck is that the next female, I don't know if it's supposed to be a sacrifice, but it's supposed to be like a twin who has a dead twin, like a surviving female twin who has a dead twin. Okay. So here's the catch-22, folks. I went to the theater tonight. I had about 3 hours of sleep the prior night. I had a situation with my wonderful automobile that had a car situation. I had to get my vehicle towed to the vehicle repair shop, and it was all a very early morning. Then I had a social engagement. A friend of mine is leaving town. I wanted to say goodbye, and I could not disappoint anyone. So I'm driving. I'm tired as a goddamn fuck. And I've got about 3 hours of sleep, and I get to this movie theater, and I'm like, okay, now I got to see this movie, but I'm extremely tired, and this is just the ironies of life, folks. This was an open captioned film, meaning that the words in English were written on the screen for people that are hard of hearing and so forth, so I don't mind. Sometimes these people, these actors can't even enunciate, and they don't get good audio anyway, so I don't mind seeing the words on the screen. So I go into the theater, and I have my traditional chosen seat in the auditorium. I get into the theater. There's one person in the goddamn theater, and that one asshole is sitting in my pre-selected seat. One person in the whole theater, and they're sitting in my seat that I chose to sit in on the app. And the person kind of knew, like, it was just obvious because I was headed right to that chair. And we had this little moment, and I don't know if this person was hard of hearing or whatever the fuck, but she kind of like said, oh, am I in your chair? I'm like, yeah, but I smiled and I said, I'll just sit somewhere else. So then I'm sitting, now I'm all paranoid as fuck because I don't want to be in this chair that's not my officially assigned seat if some asshole comes in and tells me that I'm in their chair. So now I'm checking the app to see what seats have sold for this screening. And there's like 3 or 4 chairs that have sold, right? And of course, I'm sitting in one of those chairs. So then I fucking mosey my ass over to the side, and then that person never shows up. So now there's like 25 minutes of goddamn previews. I go to the facilities, I come back. I'm like, okay, I guess no one else is coming to this theater except me and the woman that's in my chair. So I take a nice, comfortable, middle ground seat. And then finally 25 fucking minutes of previews. The movie's 2 hours and 44 minutes. I'm like, Christ almighty, we're gonna be here all goddamn night. So I'm sitting there, and then my eyes just get so heavy, and I just drift, and I just go to dreamland, and I'm waking up with like these little schisms of scenes, like here's Christopher Walken in a G-string, and here's Emma Stone and acting weird, and here's this horse shit. And here's the guy in this thing. Was he in Maverick? He looks like if you ever go to Denny's and they give you like a chocolate shake and they pour they make you a fucking chocolate shake, right? Like say it's 32 ounces and they put like 20 ounces in a nice cup for you, like a nice drinking cup. And then the rest of the 12 ounce remnants are like in this tin cup thing where they made the shake. So they give you like your fucking chocolate shake, and then they give you like the leftovers, right? So you have like a little bonus shake. This guy feels like the bonus shake of Matt Damon, or what like Philip Seymour Hoffman would look like now, like being dead. Like this guy has been in a lot of stuff lately, but he just feels like the remnants of like, okay, this guy, like someone said, oh, you kind of look like Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's dead and all. You're not quite as good of actor as him, but here's his roles that he might have had. You know, or, hey, we couldn't get Matt Damon. You're not quite as good looking or as popular or as famous, but here's a role, asshole. So that guy, whoever the fuck that guy is, I guess he's got a wonderful fucking career and a great future, and he'll probably win some awards, but that's that guy. So he's palling around with Emma Stone, and I just have the feeling watching this movie, this is the movie that, Emma has to prove herself again. Like, Poor Things wasn't fucking warped and stupid enough. You know, like, oh, okay, Emma, well, thanks for showing us your vaginal area, and thanks for showing us that you can act in this piece of shit movie and make it salvageable, and okay, you're not a Disney princess, we get it. You're not Anne Hathaway, you know, doing romantic comedies with Matthew McConaughey. So you're this wonderful, daring, brave actress, and now you have to do this? Okay. So I just feel like we're indulging in Emma's goth stage. Like, before she comes around and does some real movies, we have to go through this tenure with her, where she has to take us through the wilderness of dog shit films. No offense. So it's like, okay, Emma, you might be losing a fan here, okay? So, I don't know. I just feel like, so the movie, and then you got Margaret Qualley, and now she's one of these actresses. Is she in the Smile movies? Is that her in this? I keep seeing this preview for Smile, but Margaret Qualley is another one of these, oh, she's pretty hot. What is she being? And then she's playing like twins. It also seems, is it just me, or do some of these like artsy fucking movies that are so goddamn edgy, they just seem like a fucking excuse to get the actresses topless? Is that just me? It's like, if we make this movie really fucked up and bizarre, the A-list actress will do nudity. That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like to me. You know what I mean? So now we got Margaret Qualley topless. We got this other actress who had a great form, shall we say, and she's topless in a fucking morgue scene. So it's like, what kind of fetish fucking weirdos are making these goddamn things? I mean, that's what it feels like. Okay. Hashtag 5 years from now, everyone involved in this movie is going to be very regretful. You know what I mean? It just seems like there's some underlying things going on here, like some baby's blood is being drunken in between fucking shots or scenes or whatever the fuck. It just seems a little warped to me. Anyway, I mean, I'm all for a non-traditional fucking weird movie, but it's like, I don't know. Like, then there's all these like fake end credits. Here's a dog hanging from a noose. Okay, I wanted to see that on a Wednesday afternoon. What the hell's going on around here? I mean, it's these fucking perverted assholes making these movies. But okay, we have to give them a lot of money because it's such a good piece of shit film. So I sat through this fucking train wreck, and then the beauty of it is by the end of it, like, you start to like the movie because you're like, Like, it's so bizarre and fucked up that by the end of it, you're kind of bizarre and fucked up yourself. You're like, yeah, let's you know, have that twin jump in the empty pool and kill herself. Awesome. You know what I mean? Like, let's go to the morgue again. Let's fucking take the veterinarian lady and stab her in the neck. Like, you're getting into this weird shit. And that, I guess that's what this fucking Hugo, whatever the fuck, is so good at, is he's good at, you know, manipulating the audience to be as bizarre and disturbed as he is. So good job, Hugo, or whatever the fuck your name is. So anyway, folks, that's it. I mean, I'm not, once again, it's like, would I sit through this goddamn train wreck again? Probably not. But I do feel like assholes will like this movie. Like, this will be one of those movies that has like a cult audience, meaning a bunch of sickos will tell you how great this movie is for the next 30 years and whatever the fuck. But I mean, you know, it just is what it fucking is. So Emma, you know, romantic comedies are calling your name, sweetheart. It's time to fucking get over yourself, make some real money. You know what I mean? Like, do a nice script with like a nice character. You know what I mean? Or whatever the fuck. Do whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? Who am I to tell anyone what to do? I'm just saying. It's just, I don't know. It makes, on some grand level, it just makes me depressed. I sit here and write these wonderful screenplays with wonderful characters. And, you know, what gets produced is these, you know, buckets of horse shit films, okay? So it's depressing. And you might be thinking, well, gee whiz, Mike, you've never made a goddamn movie. Well, assholes, yes, I have. You can go over to One Man and a Camera Films, watch Blood Sugar Sedace. That'll be a goddamn mind trip for you. That'll be more enjoyable than this. You can watch The Impeccable, my wonderful 22-minute film. You can watch Disregard the Vampire, Mike Messier documentary. All these films are better than this piece of fucking horse shit that I sat through. I sat through this movie, and then I'm like, I need to cleanse my spirit. So I actually snuck in a tinge to the IMAX screening of A Quiet Place Day 1, which I've already seen, and through a logistical situation, I did not see that movie on the IMAX screen 3 weeks ago, or whenever the fuck I saw it on like a regular theater screen. And now I'm kind of having regret because I'm like, I didn't really like it, but I think that if I had seen it the first time on IMAX, I would have liked it more, right? So now I'm just kind of sitting there and I'm like, but do I want to double down now? Because I watched like the first 15 minutes of this thing tonight again. Do I want to like sit through the whole thing even though I know what happens? And I'm like, I guess I don't. So I'm just in this weird stupor. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm coming or going. I'm just all over the fucking place. And it's like, I just, not quite this, not quite that. You know, like I said, I slept 3 hours last night. I go into the theater, probably got 45 minutes of sleeping in, to be honest with you. But now I'm all, like, my battery's been like, you know, I'm at 15%. So I'm like kind of fucked up. And then it's like, do I go out and get a nice breakfast sandwich? You know what I mean? Or do I not? What do I do with myself? Anyway, it's your buddy Mike Messier. It's the post 4th of July. Like 4th of July, now it's like the fucking 10th of July. It's like the 4th of July was on a fucking Thursday. And I thought like a week ago was the 4th of July. I thought last 4th of July was a fucking Wednesday. And then the 5th of July I thought was a Thursday. And I'm walking around on the 5th of July like, oh, awesome, I got the whole weekend coming up. And then at the end of the 5th of July, I'm like, oh, wait, this was Friday? This was my Friday? That's all I did? Like, for a Thursday, this was good. But for a Friday, this kind of sucked. And then I'm like, now it's Saturday the 6th, and I'm like, my weekend's half gone. So anyway, folks, tomorrow's Thursday, and then it's like, okay, now you have to start making up for lost time. The ticking of the talk. Okay, folks, it's your buddy, one artist, Mike Messier, for my wonderful acrylics, one pro wrestling and sports fan, for my wonderful pro wrestling and sports videos. One Man and a Camera Films for my fucking movies that are better than half the horse shit you'll see in theaters, even though I say go to the theaters. And this is one on Mike Messier for Mike Sins to Movie